Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Wednesday, June 19th, around 8 p.m. Mountain Time 2024. Emergency declared in New Mexico as deadly wildfire burns more than 1,500 structures in New Mexico. We also have a disaster declaration in Texas from Governor Abbott as Tropical Storm Alberto approaches Mexico. Keep calm. It's boom time. Heat wave to scorch eastern U.S. with record high temperatures. As a punishing heat dome continues to intensify over the northeastern United States, scores of record high temperatures are set to be broken, but we will see as the days progress. From Michigan to Maine, it's insane. We could see some high temperatures in summer. Can you believe that? Texas Governor Greg Abbott issues disaster declaration as Tropical Storm Alberto approaches Mexico. The first named storm of the hurricane season is expected to bring heavy rain and flooding along the coast of Texas, the nexus of the Schmexis, and northeastern Mexico through Thursday. And our storm totals have increased quite a bit here as the clouds are setting in. Tropical Storm Alberto, first of the season, threatens Texas with severe flooding. We're going to have the full forecast in just a moment as we take a look at Tropical Storm Alberto. Did I say it 3 times strong? I did. It's bringing flooding rains and ocean surges to Texas. The surges already occurred earlier today with the first high tide, and it is the first named storm of the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season. A season of pleasing. A quick look over at our X page, which is formerly Twitter, Oppenheimer Ranch Project, at Diamond the Dave. Links will be below. Incredible storm surge. We posted this 9 hours ago, hours of powers. You can see that as the tropical storm was hundreds of miles away from Texas, well, the storm surge battered the region of Galveston and south. As you can see here, high tide is higher than normal. This is why you shouldn't always focus on the landfall. Incredible storm surge in Texas, hundreds of miles from the center of the storm, spinning off the coast of Mexico, and holy macaroni. We've got tons of amazing clips from today and some more flooding footage from Surfside Beach, seeing a significant surge here. Now, granted, the majority of these homes are on stilts for good reason. This is normal activity several times a year. And with a tropical storm brewing hundreds of miles away, these people know how to live large, well above the waves. Most channels will fearmonger about this flooding and won't tell you it's normal activity, but we will. How do you like them apples? Let's take a look at the current National Hurricane Center's forecast for Alberto. Alberto, currently advisory 9A, sustained winds at 40 miles per hour, central pressure at 995 millibars, and it will be moving onshore. Here is the key message for Alberto. Users are remained not to focus on the exact forecast track of this system. Alberto is very large, with rainfall, coastal flooding, and wind impacts occurring far from the center along the coast of Texas and even northeastern Mexico. Heavy rainfall associated with the tropical storm Alberto will impact large regions of Central America, north across northeastern Mexico, and into South Texas. This rainfall will likely produce considerable flash and urban flooding, along with new and renewed river flooding. Life-threatening flooding and mudslides are likely in and near areas of high terrain across the Mexican states of Coahuila and Nuevo León, as well as Tamaulipas, including the cities of Monterrey and Ciudad Victoria. Moderate coastal flooding is also likely along much of the Texas coast through Thursday. Tropical storm conditions are expected today along portions of the Texas coast, south of San Luis Pass, and along portions of the coast of northeastern Mexico within the tropical storm warning area. So heed the warnings. Be safe. Quick update on the fires burning across North America. Here is the North American smoke map. And from a distance, you can see there's a huge area of smoke radiating from this region And the Cali fires, well, north of LA are all out. There is a new concern here north of Sacramento where there is a fire burning north of Sacramento called the Sites Fire, increasing in size and bringing substantial smoke to Southern California. Nothing to do with the Park Fire. The fire in question that we're worried about here in Ruidoso is a trifecta. We've got 1, 2, 3 fires in place. Ruidoso, the city, a beautiful city in the southern mountains of New Mexico, is threatened, and well, over 1,500 structures have been lost. Zero containment for any of these fires. And we're talking about the Salt Fire, 5,557 acres, completely uncontained. We also have, what's the name of it? The South Fork Fire, 15,000 plus acres. And that is the one that's causing the most damage. And between the two is the town of Ruidoso, where we had the plasma petroglyph tour just 2 years ago. Let's take a look on some of the updates on what's going on in this region, the most beautiful region of New Mexico.
Good afternoon. The South Fork and Salt fires surrounding Ruidoso continue to burn thousands of acres overnight and are still not at all contained. The fires have also claimed at least one life. While thousands of evacuees await news of whether their homes made it, News 13 got a first-hand look at some of the damage to this popular mountain town. News 13's Natalie Wattis is at the command post at Ruidoso's fire station, where she spent the day gathering footage. Natalie?
Dean, the South Fork fire is still burning parts of Ruidoso, as you can see over my shoulder here right now. But we're told Midtown is still untouched by the flames.
A lot of the damage from this fire has hit the Upper Canyon and Brady Canyon and Perk Canyon, Ponderosa Heights. People that know Ruidoso will know that, that's on the west end of town. Meacham is our main artery going north and south, and that's unfortunately where a lot of the damage is.
The South Fork fire has burned more than 16,000 acres and claimed more than 1,500 structures. Now, those include homes, businesses, and outbuildings. We got footage of one business today called the Swiss Chalet Hotel, which is completely burned to the ground. This is still an active fire zone.
For people who are wanting to come back to their homes, just know that we're doing everything we can to make that happen. For people that are visitors and tourists here, give us a little bit and then come back and see us. Come back and support Ruidoso.
A really sad and sombering message from some of the leaders in the town of Ruidoso. It's not Rio Doso, as that reporter claimed it to be. It's Rui, R-U-I, Ruidoso. Has nothing to do with the river. So please get your pronunciations correct, especially when a historic town is burning down. A first-hand look at some of the damage from Ruidoso wildfires is quite tragic. Please come over to the website here at KRQE. Give them a thumbs up. Tell them Diamond sent you. And we have more footage here, quite spectacular, from the same fire. Let's take a look.
Yeah, that's right, Trevor, and it is busy. There are at least 120 evacuees here tonight, and many, many more will be spending the night at nearly a dozen other evacuation shelters across southeast New Mexico. Now, that's more than we typically see during these wildfire events, but this is not a typical crisis. There are 2 wildfires essentially surrounding Ruidoso tonight. The South Fork fire on the north side and the Salt fire on the south side. Together, as we mentioned, they've scorched nearly 21,000 acres so far, which is a relatively small size compared to New Mexico's recent historic wildfires, but these have been incredibly destructive wildfires. According to the most recent update, fire officials estimate these fires have destroyed at least 1,400 homes or other structures, and you can see some of that damage in this video we took driving down Gavilan Canyon Road earlier this afternoon. Now, that number is almost certainly going to go up in the coming days as the crews start to thoroughly assess the damage. Now, as we mentioned, we saw some of that damage firsthand today, and I can tell you it is startling to see just how much is gone in just the first 24 hours since the village was evacuated. The embers are still hot in Ruidoso. Valleys of scorched trees dotted with sizzling homes, all while fire crews continue their battle on the ground and from the sky. This is what's left of what appears to have been a motel here in Ruidoso, less than 24 hours after the village was evacuated. You can see this building is just now a pile of rubble, and you can see there's even smoke still coming up out of the damage. Now, this fire moved incredibly fast, and you can see that in this parking lot. There are several cars that are just molten really into the parking lot as the fire came through, and you can see just how hot it was burning with this evidence right here of what was at one point liquid metal coming out of this car.
Now you can notice there, as we move this through here,
This is a very sober.
I'm just going to keep that on pause there. This is molten aluminum. That's how hot the fire got. The aluminum from the car is now melting out from the vehicle. A lot of people use this to fearmonger about many wildfires, like in Hawaii, claiming this is directed energy weapons or lasers. But this has nothing to do with facts. The facts are that these fires, wind-blown wildfires, get so hot that they are well above the melting temperature of many metals, including aluminum.
In Ruidoso right now. This pile of smoldering rubble used to be the Swiss Chalet Inn, a popular hotel with scenic mountain views. Now, it's just one of the many ruins telling the story of a community forced to evacuate at a moment's notice.
It was really scary with the ashes coming down. It was like snow falling down. It was pretty bad. It was scary, yeah.
Many evacuees only took what they could carry.
So my wife was, let's grab what we need that's important to us, our papers, our, pictures, or some clothes, and let's get going. We left everything else behind.
Now, he's hoping everyone saved what matters most.
It's been tough because I've never been through this before. And I just keep getting cracked up about it because it's just, I know there's other families that are trying to look for their loved ones.
Well, there is certainly a sad state of affairs in Ruidoso, and our hearts and thoughts and prayers go out to those folks that are affected. So please, if you can, help with the situation down there in northern New Mexico as it is developing, and we'll have more information in the morning. Stay tuned for updates. Here is the hail map for Tuesday, June 18th. Significant day, 7,698 impacted households impacted by 1-inch hail or larger, 1,283 homes impacted by gorilla hail, 2 square miles. The big winner was Hays, Kansas, Amarillo, Texas, and Aberdeen, South Dakota. Holy macaronis. Quick look at the GFS model, and what we're going to see is some good news. Buckle up, Buttercup. Well, the bad news is for Texas, the nexus of the Schmexus, where we've already got 3.5 inches of precipitation in the program here. If we just move it through the end of the weekend here, we're looking at upwards of 9 inches in this bullseye. So there could be some flash flooding and other impacts from this storm in South Texas. But the most important thing to note is the Ruidoso fire here in southeastern New Mexico, and that is going to be aided by much needed precipitation over the next 48 to 36 hours. It's looking like 1 inch or more could fall in that area, which is good news for the residents there trying to protect their homes. Another big story is Archuleta County, where we live. We are about to get inundated with increased moisture from this storm. Could be 3 to 4 inches in our county in just the next few days. Good news. Bad news for the people in the fire scar region here. Could be some flash flooding in Ruidoso, as well as South Texas, the nexus of the Schmexus. And let's move on to the full forecast. Excessive rainfall and flooding threat across the Texas coast. Heed the warnings. Heat persists from the Midwest to the Northeast like a beast. Potential tropical cyclone 1, which is now Alberto, will likely bring very heavy rainfall to coastal Texas today and eventually the Rio Grande Valley early Thursday morning. Coastal flooding and tropical storm force winds are also possible along the Texas coast. Of the most, excessive heat will continue to persist from the Midwest to the Northeast, as it always does in summer. What a bummer. Holy macaroni. Seismic update. No quakes of note. Pretty boring day worldwide, to say the least. And there you have it. Almost no quakes of interest anywhere. Worldwide volcano news. We've got continued inflation at Reykjanes, which means, well, in just 8 to 10 weeks, another eruption will ensue as the eruption continues at the Reykjanes Peninsula. As predicted, will last for years, and a secondary eruption at a large volcano will also occur based on historical data. How do you like them apples? Take a look at this. The Reykjanes volcano, the first lava cooling since 1973, was initiated yesterday as lava has threatened a barrier towards the town of Grindavik. So they're pumping seawater here to cool the berm, to cool the lava on the other side so it doesn't breach the berm. And now this berm is pretty freaking high. Shut up, Al! Get in your hole! Al Gore thinks the berm is not as high as the snowfall total. Moving on with the update, Home Reef volcano, possible low-level eruption today. Sangay to 21,000 feet. Popo, puffing and passing. Liwatobi to 10,000. Semadu, who knew? Now you do. 15,000 foot puff today. Ibu puffing to 14,000. Reventador, 14. Sabancaya, continuous ash emissions. Popo, possible ash. Sakurajima, puffing to 5,000. Reykjanes, a lava cooling effort has been initiated, and we told you that. And that wraps up today's volcano news. As we move over to space weather, we have a coronal hole alert. Seismic activity over the next 48 hours may be increased. Heed the warnings. Major activity is only associated with these large coronal holes, and I mean magnitude 7 or greater. Overall, low-level activity all day. No significant flaring. KP index fell below 0 for a period about 12 hours ago. We'll have to investigate that. It was below 0. How do you like them apples? Overall, major sunspots are now parting the disk, not flaring, and nobody is caring, except Ben Davidson. Herd of 170 bison could help store CO2 equivalent of 40,000 cars. 43,000, in fact, according to researchers. Why aren't we incorporating sustainable farming in our carbon capture products? Well, because the powers that be that are pushing this green agenda don't care about your health and your welfare. They care about their bottom dollar. They really don't think that what they're doing is going to save the earth. They think it's going to save their ass, and they're going to make billions of dollars off the ruse. You can either believe the lie or believe the facts. And the facts are that animals and human life are beneficial to Earth, and globalists and elites with propaganda and fake science, they are the detriment. And the big reckoning is coming. Whether it's civil war or an all-out world war, we are coming for these globalists, and they're going to fail. They're going to fail wholeheartedly because now we've had the internet for decades. There are tens, if not hundreds of millions of educated people that know what's going on. They know that news is fake, that facts are fiction, and they know how to prepare for the future. Go back to the agrarian way where you can support your family, survive and thrive in a future where there is no more Walmart. And good riddance. Have you been to a Walmart recently? Have you seen the people in that shithole? You want to know how to really switch? Start growing your own food. The Alliance of Native Seed Keepers has the cheapest seeds on earth. All heirloom, open pollinated, worker owned. No corporations here, bro. We are only supporting the greatest companies on earth. And this is a Native American run company that is sourcing all heirloom seeds, and they're not kicking up the price fivefold like Baker Creek, that is actually selling GMO seeds and claiming that they're awesome. That's what happens. Go woke, go broke, Baker Creek, and you can suck it. I will never buy another pack of seeds from Baker Creek ever. Infinity, ever. Alliance of Native Seed Keepers is where you can get all of your open pollinated seeds for less than half the price of Baker Creek. Free shipping on all orders over $25. 10% off if you add coupon code ORP2024. Who knew? Now you do. Where you can get the best seeds that are not funded by the globalist schmucktards like Baker Creek. Hey, Baker Creek, send me a memo. We'll bring you on the show and you can explain how stupid you are. No, I don't even want to go there. I'll tell you what, all of these woke, stupid corporations like Baker Creek and now many of the other festivals are so woke, it's so sickening. No one is coming there. I hope you all go bankrupt. If you ask anyone when they're signing up for anything what their pronouns are, you're a fucking loser, period. And that's a boom. If you want to know what my pronouns are, they are what I am when you look at me. I'm either a man or a woman, and if you can't determine it, close your eyes and walk away. And that's a boom, period. I have nothing else to say. If you have any problem with what I said, you can go yourself.